Hey guys, so in the last video I talked about how the problem with sitting isn't sitting itself, it's stasis. It's the static load that we're asking our body to tolerate when it was never built to put up with that to the volume or to the intensity that we're asking of it in our modern society. So the question that I'm going to try to answer here is, okay, well, besides moving around all day, what should I focus on while I'm sitting? Is there a way to sit that might be kinder on my body or more tolerable? And the first thing to keep in mind is that there is no wrong way to sit. And with that, there is no right way to sit. The human body is built to tolerate a lot of different things. Over time, you may have gotten much more comfortable sitting in very particular ways. And as a result, that particular way is now exhausted and sore. But that particular way isn't necessarily wrong, it's just that that's the only way that you might be doing it. So no different than a wrist crank back, there's nothing wrong with this. It's going to get sore if it has to hang out there for a period of time. And that doesn't mean that this is better or that this is right, but chances are you ease off of that, that's going to feel better. The solution is probably to move around, but it isn't to avoid a prolonged load. It's just to listen to the messages that your body's trying to tell you. Now, applying that to sitting, even though there's no wrong or right way to sit, we want to have perhaps a framework to work off of, and there are durable ways to sit, and that is sitting through yourself. Now, that sounds like a statement from Yoda, but it's really learning to sit through your sit bones, your butt bones, your ischiotuberosities. And if that's something that would be foreign to you, then you can right now in a chair sit just at the edge of it and sit generally upright and try to sense your sit bones. And what you want to ask is, can I feel my sit bones? And if you can't, then you sort of like shift around until maybe you can feel them. Once you can feel your sit bones, this is generally a place that you can pivot around and sit for a prolonged period. Not all day, but probably for a prolonged period. And then the other question that would be good to ask is, can I feel my left sit bone as well and as clearly as my right sit bone? And for many of you, the answer will be no. I can feel my right sit bone a lot easier than I can my left sit bone. And that's because there's a common asymmetry to human beings. Now, if you can very clearly feel your right sit bone, but not your left, I'd bet good money that you are sitting a lot over and through that right sit bone for the majority of your day, taking all sorts of preferred positions just to get it done. And a solution may be to try and find and hold and keep that left sit bone a little more in your day. For some of you, that may be all that's necessary is to think about it and find it, and a new habit can occur. And for others, it may feel physically impossible to get over to the left without having to do something wonky. In that case, some help may be needed. But simply starting to be aware of your sit bones and recognize that you have two and that one is not better than the other, and things may be sore because either you don't sit on either or you only sit on one throughout the day, that might be helpful. And if you are one of those that's only got a right sit bone and you got to work to get a left sit bone, that does not mean that the left sit bone is right or correct or the proper sit bone to sit on, and that the right sit bone is the wrong one. It simply means you got to get a little more left, because if you ain't thinking about it, chances are you've gone back to your right. So in order to perhaps sit throughout your day and be able to tolerate it the easiest, it's to find your sit bones and sit through your sit bones, your left as much as your right, and then getting all sorts of ways to lean around those sit bones, not just maybe one exclusive way. And that alone might help a few of you in order to simply get through the demand of your day. And if so, then I'm glad that it helps.